For all my lighting system, I found out that I installed these LED ceiling spotlight with a household 120 volt system. So I had to remove them. I had all this here. I have to remove them, and I bought these from Amazon. It's a 12 volt LED, and how I install it is basically just connecting the wires to it. This is supposed to be a touch screen one, and you can see here, if you zoom in from this side here, I already did one here, but since the hole is already made, and the size of this, the size of the hole is a little bit too big, so what I do is I'm just going to have to glue from the outside onto like the edge, because it's the size of this. It's practically almost the same as the hole. It's slightly a little bit bigger, so I can just glue onto it. And how I do the installations of this here, it's quite simple. So it does come with the screw for the 3 holes, but I'm not going to use it because I had nothing to screw on to the hole, so I'm just going to use this cap here for the wires. Apparently the black wires here is the positive, and so, but I'm doing the same here, positive, like white to white, black to black. And connecting the cap on top. So make sure that it's well twisted. And that's it. So I'm gonna have to glue this to the very edge of it a little bit later on. So that's how simple the lighting is. And I have to remove all of this light, LED light, I guess ceiling light, because they're pretty strong, and it takes quite a bit of voltage, and I don't want to having to use my inverter to use these lights. So instead, these ones are sufficient, and these are touch lights. So yeah, I'm gonna install that. One of the biggest error of all the wiring here, like I use these household 12 gauge wires, three wire system, 2 wires is full man. What I should have done is use marine wires, which is not one strand copper, but it's multiple strands. The vibrates a lot. Like I don't have to worry about that, but since it's already done with all the wires ran, I'm just gonna leave the way how it is. But the rest of the wires that I'm gonna be doing, I have some remaining wires that was installing in this van before. I'm gonna be using that. It's a little bit better than these wires, but so I'm gonna be installing the water pump wires, some LED light at the bottom of my garage here, and the switch as well. So there's quite a bit of things to fix before I actually hook up my whole solar system inverter at the front there. Okay, so that's all for the ceiling lights, that switching from a 120 volts to a 12 volt LED lights here. These are very light. I was thinking to downgrade this, but it's just too strong and too powerful and not worth it. Yeah, this is much simpler. It doesn't take, it's only a 4 watts, so it doesn't take a lot of power to run this, and much simpler. So I'm just removing all of this to switch to the other one. Alright, so that's it. Okay, with the 12 volt LCD light, I have to glue it on. So right now I'm just securing it with some point and some brick there. Here, this one here. So I put some construction glue on it, and right now just secure with it so it doesn't hang down, and at the other end as well there. So just let it totally dried out. Okay, so remove some of the wires that was in there. Cut some of the wires here as well. Okay, so I totally removed these here, both sides, and I cut, see it, I cut the wires there, since I jumped both sides there. I cut the wires. Sorry about the lightning there, but yeah, I'm gonna try to rewire through the walls here. I don't know how I do it, but maybe make a hole on this end and feed the wires through this, and then through there. So rewiring my 2 outlet here, I passed the wires that coming from my breaker box here. I made a hole here, and I put a plastic round thing for the wires, and I had to make this hole in between in order for me to get all the wood and the foam out, for me to reach this 2 outlet at the bottom here. So I was able to fish out the wires through there, and now I'm going to connect that. Okay, so here what I did is I merged the 3 wires together. So from each outlet here, this one, that one, and the one that go to the sources. So the neutral to the neutral, the negative to the negative, and the positive to the positive. So white to white, black to black, and neutral to neutral. And that conclude these 2 bottom outlets here that I'm rewiring. It was a job that was since I removed all the existing wires, like, you know, I'm rebuilding all this here, and this is done. So I'm going to put a finishing touch there. I'm just going to screw, just pushing all that in and finishing with this plate here. Okay, so I just wrap it all up again with all the wire reattached and into the tube there, all the way. And now I'm just putting everything back in order. Hi there. wires. So making the wires is kind of tricky because I already foamed everything and sealed up everything. So in here, what happened is I couldn't put the wires through because it was stuck here. So what I do here is I have to remove this whole top here in order for me to get over to this side. And as you can see here, this part is blocked. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to try to drill a hole through this here for me to put the wires through here and then up ahead and on top of this to the other side of where all my electrical into the fuse box there. So I've taken all this thing and now we're gonna drill this hole here. Okay, so fishing this wires through it's quite tricky. I actually had to drill holes, and I found out that there's from here to here there's actually an opening. So I drilled this one, and actually I was gonna drill up. I drilled up here to wanting to access at the back here, but I couldn't do it, and I found out there's a opening just on the side here. So what I did is I'm using my fishing tool here, and some of the wires I was able to pass through, but the few last one it's a little bit tough. So I'm using electrical tape to tape the wires like so, and I just have to pull it through. So just kind of tape the wires to my fishing wires so I can actually pull it. Kind of tricky here. So I'm pulling this here over. So make sure it's actually okay. Now and this part I find it's easier to do manually. I just have to put the wire through because the slit is quite small there. So here you go. Just able to pull it now. And what I'm doing is now that I have all these wires, I'm going to loop it around on top of the ceilings here, all the way around here to my fuse box, which is situated down here behind the driver's seats there. So yeah, let's finish this up. Okay, so once I run through the top here, I realized like some of my wires are a little bit short to go to my fuse panel here, so I'm gonna have to connect more wires so I can run through the fuse panel at the front there. So I'm gonna get that going. Okay, so I've soldered. I missed a little bit, so as to connection I use these type of soldering connector, and after I use a torch to seal this up. Just as a precaution, I'm going to use electrical tape to tape all the way around it, just to make sure that it does not disconnect in any ways. Okay, so I just finished labeling all the wires there, and now like I'm just going to put into this conduit here, and then I just drill a hole here to pass it through on the other side so it can go into my fuse panel there.